really have to start, when you start talking about America, with the idea of capitalism. Because this is the home, the epicenter of global capitalism. It was Calvin Coolidge who said in 1925, the chief business of the American people is business. And there's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about in that statement. Business is a wonderful institution. It may be the greatest idea we human beings have ever had in many ways, as I will try to establish. And we can actually go beyond the way that we have thought about it and practiced it the last couple of 100 years and evolve towards this idea of conscious capitalism, elevating the consciousness with which we practice business. The Tatas are one of the global exemplars of that, and you just heard a story that illustrates what happens when a company exists in that mode. In fact, we had our Conscious Capitalism conference in India, in the Crystal Ballroom, in that hotel, 3.5 months after that event. A room in which there was a wedding reception taking place, and the terrorists came in and opened fire with machine guns. The hotel reopened in 24 days after that attack that you saw. Okay, it's an extraordinary, and Rohit has told us a wonderful story about that. What has capitalism done? You know, what we define as capitalism really hasn't been around for that long. So if you look at human history, you can go back 2 millennia, you can go back 10 millennia. Human history has been pretty consistent, where the default condition of the human race has been one of abject poverty. 90% or so people on this planet have pretty much lived on about $1 a day or less for most of recorded history. And you can go back as far as we have estimates. All of that only started to change about 250 years ago. And the triggers for that were really 2 or 3 things. One was the beginnings of the Industrial Revolution, which really started in England around 1750. I think of that as a source of energy, like a hydrogen atom, if you will. And then a few years later, Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations. This was sort of the intellectual energy to go along with the technological energy of the Industrial Revolution. And in that same year, 1776, we had the Declaration of Independence here. And this is the oxygen of freedom, coming together with the hydrogen of technology and the hydrogen of ideas to create a new kind of life for humanity, which then you can see the impact over the succeeding 2 centuries. It is a story that has absolutely no precedence anywhere in recorded history. Look at what has happened to the average person. I'm not talking about the few at the top. What business has done for the average person, per capita incomes have risen by a dramatic exponential rate ever since. And this is all in real dollars. In some countries, the United States, the estimates are the average person today is 100 times better off than the average person was in the year 1800. Our population has grown from 1 billion in 1820 to 7 billion now. It's been enabled by many of the things technology and capitalism allows for. And our life expectancies have risen from 30 to about 65 on a global basis. So the percentage of people living on less than $1 a day has fallen from 85% in 1820 or so to about 17% today. And Mohammed Yunus, the founder of the Grameen Bank, has said his dream is, and it's a very achievable dream, one day our grandchildren will have to go to museums to see what abject poverty looks like. That is within our grasp. It can happen. That is our recent track record on this